Welcome to European Railway issue number 79, the DVD programme for the continental enthusiast. In this issue we travel to northwestern Italy as we follow the Simplon tunnel route to the north of Domodossola. A journey to Slovakia to sample action on a main route to the north of Bratislava. Some fast TGV action in northern France. A study of trains and traction on a Belgian main line. And a return to Domodossola as we conclude our look at the busy Simplon rail route in northwest Italy. We begin in Italy, close to the border with Switzerland, as we sample traffic on the Simplon tunnel main line from Brig to Domodossola. Our locations are seen here on this map, along the main rail line to the northwest of Milano. The first part of this feature sees us visit a number of locations around the town of Varzo, which lies close to the southern entrance of the Simplon tunnel, just east of a spiral loop built into the mountainside. We begin at Isella di Trasquera, then to Varzo station itself and the only view of the line on the loop section. We then proceed further south and to 3 locations as the line continues its descent down the mountainside. This is the view at Isella di Trasquera, with the main road from the Simplon Pass to the left and the main rail line coming out of the Simplon tunnel to the right. Leaving the 19.18 kilometre long tunnel is 485005 on one of the frequent lorry shuttles from Freiburg to Novara. Three Swiss electrics are at the head of this train about to enter the tunnel. The service is likely to be train 40210 from Piacenza to Basel. ETR 610 intercity train sets operate through services to Milano. These originate at either Geneva or Basel and operate throughout the day. The right-hand tunnel was opened in 1912, whilst the left-hand tunnel opened in 1921. Just east lies the station at Varzo. Over 2,000 people live in the town, and the railway is an important part of the local transport infrastructure. This BLS Class 435 pauses with a train bound for Brig. The station is just short of 13 kilometres to the north of Domodossola and is situated at a height of 529 metres above sea level. The tracks here are bidirectional, with the rails painted white in order to reduce the heat generated by the strong sunshine. 420-276 and 11679 draw to a stand with a southbound container train. Passing by in the opposite direction are BLS cargoes 485014 and 020 on a lorry shuttle from Véron to Freiburg. Some impressive locomotive lash-ups can be seen on the line. Take this one for example. The gradient of the route here is 2.5%, down as far as the yards at Domodossola. This pair of ETR 610 are working a service from Milano to Basel. A pair of DB Cargo Class 185s, led by 185122, are in charge of this train bound for Novara. Class 560 Subseries 4 3-car electric units usually work around Martigny, but also work fill-in turns between Brig and Domodossola. This is 560-402. The mountains bordering the line typically rise to over 2,600 metres, with ones even higher behind these rising to 4,000 metres. Four 85008 and 009 are working a light engine move from Brig to Domodossola. One 86109 leads train 43778 from Novara to Worms in Germany. DB Class 185088 leads this intermodal service from Gallerati to Basel. This was a lucky shot. 460065 passes a classmate on services to and from Basel. From the other side of the platforms we see train 49658, conveying empty timber wagons from Varwalo to Basel. In the opposite direction, BLS Cargo's 485015 leads train 43559 from Venlo to Melzo Scallo. The 1712 metre long Trasquera tunnel is just above the town on the covered loop. Here 11296, 42214 and 11258 head a Basel to Gallerati working. Another view in the opposite direction, as this train comes out of Kert Tunnel, which is also part of the same covered loop. Looking up to the bridge, and this light engine convoy heads for Brig. Moving on to the section to the south of Warsaw now, and a pair of Class 189s head a LKW Volta service from Genk to Novara. A little further south, and this Freiburg to Novara lorry shuttle approaches the short 425 metre long Giovanni Tunnel. Slightly south again, and this pair of Class 185s cross the 51 metre long Rio Confinale bridge as they head north towards Brig. Near Moniata Tunnel, we see this service bound for Domodossola, powered at the rear by 11164. And about time we saw some of these, here are two BLS brownies, numbers 174 and 180. In the top left of the picture lies the town of Warsaw as 620-008 makes a cautious descent down towards Domodossola. Our final scene is of 485003. We shall return for the second part of this feature later on in the programme. We head off to Slovakia now, and to a busy main line to the north of Bratislava, forming the main rail route into the Czech Republic. The route covered is very close to the border with Austria, as can be seen here on our map, with the capital Vienna just an hour's drive away. We begin in the northern part of our chosen section of line at Sikule, before calling into Velké Lavare and finally to Malatsky. The date is the 18th of July 2017, and approaching Sikule from the north is 380013, heading the 1151 from Prague to Budapest. The Class 380 is part of a 20-strong fleet owned by the Czech Railways. There is a good amount of freight on this route, with at least 2 per hour each way on average. Heading north on these hoppers is privately owned Class 242 number 219, formerly belonging to Czech Railways. The Class 263s are used exclusively on local trains utilising double-deck stock around Bratislava. 10 locomotives are in the class, with a further 2 prototypes working for Czech Railways on services around Brno. This colourful chap, number 242274, belongs to new private operator Translog Slovakia and is often seen hauling all trains. What a great livery! This is the 1342 from Budapest to Prague, powered at the front by 380-015. We now travel south to Velké Lavary, and number 361104 has run round its train at Guti and heads south, forming the 1738 Guti to Bratislava. One of the local mafia members is also about to board the train. Following along behind is Czech freight loco number 363522 on train 40737, the previous night's 2025 departure from Bremen to Szarok-Szary. Class 671 3-car units are similar to the Czech Class 471 City Elephant train sets. Most are based at Žilina, and this is about as far west as they get. This is 670-018 on the 1732 Bratislava to Kuti. The time was just after 6 p.m, and there was a gap of some 40 minutes between trains. Heading north at 20 to 7 is 380-005 on the 1541 from Budapest to Prague. To add to the variety, this is RegioJet's 193205 at the head of the 1521 Prague to Bratislava. Another Vectron, this time the colourful 193820, belonging to Prva Slovenská železnica. The train is PN 48500, the 12 o'clock from Dunaj Fiminito to Storovo. Fishbowl-eyed Class 230 number 092 heads south with a rake of chemical tanks. You can't help but like these somewhat diminutive machines. Of similar design to the Czech Class 380, Škoda delivered two Class 381 electrics for Slovak railways. These have a lower top speed of 160 km per hour and are used on local trains around Bratislava. A further 6 similar locos are being delivered to DB Regio for use on the Nuremberg to München route. This example is 381001 on the 1738 from Bratislava. And here is a Class 380 for comparison purposes. This one is 380-003, working the 1552 from Prague to Budapest Eurocity service. We've now moved south to Malatsky and another livery variation, this time worn by Class 240 electric number 068, seen arriving with the 1918 service from Bratislava to Kuti. The 1938 from Kuti is next to arrive behind 263006, with 240076 and train attached to the rear for an empty stock movement down to Bratislava. Finally, 380016 heads north with the 1741 Budapest to Brno. We've decided to speed things up in this section as we look at TGV services on the high-speed line to the southwest of Paris. The route links the capital with Bordeaux, Tours, Nantes and Rennes. Our location is not far from the village of Oursonville on the LGV Atlantique. Our stopover lasted 1 hour on Monday the 1st of August 2017. It was almost impossible to identify which train is what, given the frequency of services. So we haven't bothered. Instead, let's just sit back and watch them go whoosh. Time to slow down again now as we travel east of our last location and on towards Belgium. Our location is around 30 kilometres southwest of Bruxelles on the route to Manage. We chose a number of locations beginning at Familjeuro, then 2 locations around Marchais-les-Écousines, and finally just south of Braine-le-Comte. We begin at Familjeuro on the 3rd of May 2018, and AM70TH unit number 968 heads south towards the camera, forming the 1123 stopping service from Braine-le-Comte to La Louvière. Just a few minutes later, and Class 13 electric number 1311 winds past the camera with steel slabs bound for the steelworks at La Louvière. In the opposite direction, we see the 1123 Banche to Tornout service powered at the rear by locomotive number 2739. During our lunchtime stopover, freight traffic was quite frequent, although it tended to tail off later in the afternoon. Heading south are 7806 and 7863 on a trainload of lime, probably bound for the steelworks at La Louvière. Another set of hoppers passes by in the opposite direction, powered by 186346 on hire to SNCB cargo. There is an hourly passenger service to and from Banche, which utilises a mixture of AM08 units and Class 27 locos on push-pull stock. This is AM08021. There are 2 Class AM70TH units used on the Braine-le-Comte local services, which run hourly in each direction, calling at all stations. This is unit number 968 returning north. following train was a pleasant surprise, a departmental working headed by two infrastructure allocated Class 62 diesels, number 78 and 42. The Class 62 were built between 1961 and 1966 and were a mixed traffic locomotive operating passenger and freight train services. Most of their passenger work ceased when the new Class 41 diesel units arrived between 2000 and 2002. Most locos were then transferred to Infrabel for use on maintenance trains. Some were also sold off to private operators. About 60 of the original 136 locomotives built remain in service. The other unit on local services was number 964, seen here heading south. Railtracks is a private freight operator based in Belgium. Currently they have 4 of these ex-Dutch Class 6400 diesels acquired second-hand from DB Schenker. Here numbers 6482 and 6481 head north. Our freight fest continued with number 7824 on this set of vehicle transporters. The dual voltage version of the Class AM08 units are numbered in the 500 subseries. This is unit number 557. Number 1344 heads steel empties from Antwerpen to La Louvière. Moving north, and this is the view from the station platforms at Marché-les-Écousines, as 7825 heads south with a short train of tank wagons at just after 2 p.m. .7863 and 7806 return with lime hoppers, and were seen passing the station just 5 minutes later. Slightly to the north of the station, and we get this view of unit number 964, forming the 1423 from Braine-le-Comte to La Louvière. Trains were being slowed due to line-side vegetation clearance, something that is being carried out quite extensively across Belgium. With 2 passenger trains in each direction, plus a fair amount of freight, this stretch of line is worth a visit, should you be in the area. Here we have 7833 on just 4 tank wagons heading south at 3:10. The amount of lines in Belgium where you can see the older style of units is gradually diminishing, as more and more new Class AM08-0 units are delivered from Siemens. The south of the country is still the best place to view them. Both units, working the local service to and from Braine-le-Comte, pass each other in this view. It won't be much longer when sites such as this will all soon be history. Our final 2 sequences from this line come from the junction just south of Braine-le-Comte, as City Rail Unit number 980 is paired up with Unit number 833 on a peak hour working from Brussels. Finally, a bit more locomotive variety in the shape of Class 18, number 1867, at the rear of this service heading for Brussels. We return to Italy now as we continue our extended feature on the Simplon Tunnel line to Domodossola. We also take a brief look at the SSIF meter gauge line around Trontano. We start in the north with scenes taken around Kerr Tunnel just north of Varzo. This location was shown on our maps in the first section of this feature at the beginning of the programme. We begin with an unusual triple-headed lorry shuttle train powered by 485011, 7 and 15. L11200 was on the rear of this local service from Brig. A northbound intermodal has number 178 on the front. The loco will pilot the train as far as either Brig or through to Spitz. Another northbound intermodal followed just 5 minutes later. BLS brownies are a regular sight on this line. This is a southbound working, paired with a Class 465, and has number 180 at the head. One 186, 910 and 908 joined forces on train 43771 from Bierzet to Piacenza. This is the Rio Confidali bridge, as a pair of Class 186s head north with a service from Novara to Genk, carrying LKW Valter swap bodies. To the south of here, behind where the cameraman is standing, the line enters the 2.2 kilometre long Rideau Prelia tunnel and gallery, which finishes just north of Prelia station. This is the view from the station platforms at Prelia, looking down towards Domodossola. One 186-106 heads this train of P&O containers bound for Zeebrugge. This northbound car train has number 175 at the head. The service is probably 48626, from Fossa Cesa, Torino di Sangro to Lahr in Germany, conveying Fiat cars. train 43771 from Bierset to Piacenza is seen again, but this time with green liveried 11663 up front. Things were getting quite busy, with freight trains beginning to stack up behind each other, awaiting entry into the yards at Domodossola. Next up, we have 11635, hauling a loaded timber train from Basel to Verwallo. The previous train is still being held at red signals and can be seen in the distance. There was just enough time for this rail maintenance gang to inspect the track work. They weren't hanging around, they were gone within 5 minutes. Another northbound working now, headed by 420-280. As can be seen, there is a good mixture of motive power on this line, from national operators to private companies. This is the scene off the overbridge just to the north of the station platforms, as a pair of Class 465s, numbers 10 and 12, power train 40379 from Ghent Zeehaven to Mortara, conveying Ambrosio swap bodies. This is the view across the valley overlooking Prelia. Just south of Prelia, we see this ETR 610 unit on a service from Basel to Milano, now approaching the suburbs of Domodossola. In the opposite direction, this track machine goes about its business. The date is the 5th of May 2017. We move briefly away from the main line to catch a couple of trains on the meter gauge Società Subalpina di Imprese Ferroviarie on the 11th of October 2017, just above Domodossola, on the route up to Trontano. This ABE 46 unit, dating from 1992, descends the valley on the way down to Domodossola. The line extends east to Ribelashka, where it joins with the Ferrovie Autolinee Regionali Ticinesi, or FART for short. Trains operate throughout to Locarno. The line uses a series of long loops in order to gain height up the valley. This is one of FART's units heading back through the still air with a service for Locarno. Here the same unit enters the station at Trontano. We now drop back down the valley to the north end of Domodossola station. This Class 560 Subseries 4 unit enters the station on a working from Brig. The date is the 5th of May 2017, and this Class 460 locomotive is working the 1448 departure for Basel, one of just a handful of appearances the class make in the town. Pretty well all freight trains use the two easternmost lines bypassing the station platforms. These outside tracks are energised at the Swiss 15 kV down to the main marshalling yard situated 5 kilometres to the south. Now this is a real rarity. BLS Historic Loco number 251 works in from Brig on a special working hauling a rake of SBB stock. The loco was shunt released back onto the 15 kV territory about 30 minutes later. The 1123 Milano to Frankfurt service is operated by a pair of ETR 610 train sets. BLS 465012 enters the station with a short Chemoil train from Moulins to Pieve-Vergonte. This is the 1223 from Milano to Geneva. Finally, we see a pair of BLS Class 485s arriving with train 43559 from Venlo to Melzo, and is passed in the other direction by a pair of BLS's new Vectron electrics. As the trains go their various ways, we hope that you have enjoyed watching this edition of European Railway.